Hello once again from Homegrown in the Cape. Last video was the stackers and fish. I'm going to move over to my hydroponics right here. We've got 60 holes individually fed. I've tried a variety of different water feed systems, direct flow, drippers, what have you, and they all seem to give me a bit of a problem at one time or another, and I do work, so I can't afford to have issues while I'm at work because I end up wasting a lot of water. So I ended up doing individual drippers, individual shut-off valves, so I can control the water flow on each hole as I need it. I don't usually fill every hole in here because some of the plants get pretty large, so I skip every other one, and that way I can turn off the appropriate hole so I don't have to use or waste that water. Once it goes into the 3-inch baskets in my plant, it simply flows downstream and drains into a cooler, again trying to keep the water temperature as cool as possible. This is where I usually do all my greens, bok choy, red and regular, and lettuces, and all my herbs, basil and cilantro and thyme, all the standard herbs. I tried some tomatoes and some fruited plants last year, but it didn't do so well, so I'm just going to stick to greens in here for now while I'm playing with the aquaponics. Anyway, the cooler here collects the water from the tubes. It also acts as kind of a filter. All the debris and dirt falls to the bottom, the water rises, drains out this particular drain hole here. Once it gets to a certain level, runs along the floor. There's my other tank, does the same thing, another 60 holes. And then outside, and you can kind of see it through the screen, into another buried tank. I have an 1,800 gallon per hour pump in there, which gives me a real good flow of water to feed all these plant holes. I'm also intending on putting a split, a T, in that particular junction there and running it over to this cooler so I can keep a steady flow of water in here for my seedling bed, which is 120 holes. It's the system runs beautiful. Like I said, I've had quite a few trial and errors. I started out with just a simple tube at the base of the basket squirting up. It worked out great right up until the roots started growing into the hole, and it would plug the hole and the plant would die. Then I tried these drippers, and again, works real well, but I don't have enough pressure from the pump, so I'm upgrading the pump from a 600 per hour to a 1,000 gallon per hour pump inside the cooler. But the tank outside there is going to keep this cooler filled to a particular level, again temperature controlled, being a cooler. And then when this pump kicks on 4 times a day for whatever, half an hour or so, it'll have a little bit more pressure to feed the drippers and also to feed the plants. Once the water drains back out the end, goes back into the cooler, again the water level is going to be at such a height where it gives me a pretty good level of water all the time, so I don't have to worry about running empty on the cooler, and then it drains back into the tank again. I'm also considering doing some fish in that tank, putting a bigger bucket on top so I can get a net in there if need be. I'll step outside here real quick and show you what I got going out there, but there's 120 holes in here. Works out pretty well. Again, shade 50%. I've got a couple timers over here. One runs the seedling bed pump 4 times a day. The other one runs the 2 bigger basket grow beds that each have 60 holes in it, and that runs basically 24/7. Got a drain valve on there in case I need to drain a tank for some reason or another, and the insulated buried tank holds my water. The black line there in the back is my supply line. Again, I can feed that from my water system that I showed on the first video. Anywhere in the yard, I can just program a particular zone and feed any of the tanks that I need to feed with the perfect pH, the water that I need in that particular area. Alright, well, again, thanks again. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to jot them down on the site, and I'll be happy to do what I can to answer them. Thanks, have a good day. Visit again, Homegrown in the Cape. Take care.